Hi everyone, John's here. You know what? I'm right here in Camas. I'm right here at Camas, Washougal, Camas. I'm down here at the Rama. I've been here since Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. I'll be pulling out of here tomorrow. I worked on my motorhome lately. I've done the roof on it. Most of it's done. I probably take it up to Beacon Rock and touch it up. There's a quiet spot up there where I go up there and do a really fabulous job on it with no one bothering me. And that's great. You know, I got my permit to go there, and there's just nobody that's around. If there was, I just want to do it. You know, I won't make an eyesight or a spectacle or something like that, like some of these renegade assholes have done. You know, and that's just it. If you're a renegade asshole and you want to cause somebody friction, you better fucking stop it right now, because the Holy Father, Satan, Eve, they see reflections and stuff. And by the way, you'll get residual effects off of what they're seeing. You don't even need me to see it. You know, if I see shit, I goddamn tell you, Satan and Eve is on it, and they'll put it into it. You know, things have got to be just in such a way. You know, it's one of these things where we got to have safety for our children and people that's around me. And even there was a gentleman out here that was out here acting out. And boy, I'll tell you what, he's acting out against that neighbor that's up there. And this is a gentleman that I've seen around. You know, we finally seen each other. We finally met. You know, he's cool. You know, I should give some of these men an opportunity and chance. But you know what? Everyone's opportunity comes up there at the proper time. With me, you know, somebody just can't say, well, I'm going to make an appointment and I get to go to the top of the list and I get to meet John before John kicks the fuck out of Bruce Kinsey. No, that's not how it fucking works. First I knock out Bruce Kinsey and then you're next. You goddamn got it. Nobody gets to fucking make an appointment with me. Such as that. Like, somebody will make a comment that they'll want to see me down here in Camas, Washougal. Boy, I'll tell you what, you don't want to do something like that, because if you look as a threat towards Eve and Satan, your life and stuff can come to a goddamn bitter fucking end. I'm telling you, I know what it's like to be grabbed by the fucking balls and to learn how to fucking obey, or I'm going to fucking pay. And you know what? I'm sure that they could still cause me a conflict of interest in the future, and maybe they even do now by sending stuff that pisses me off, so I'll act out in a very severe way. And that, I think, is a part of it, is being able to read Satan and Eve, you know, as a couple. I think the two of them belong together. I really do think that Satan and Eve belongs together. And I know that Eve wants to be with me because that's the way it was supposed to be, and she wants to set things right. And also, Satan would like to set things right. And you know what? He probably, there's always going to be remorse in this whole thing until everybody comes clean. You know, really, that's exactly what's going to happen, is everybody's going to come clean. I want whatever God wants. If you please God, you pleased me. If you pleased me, apparently you must be pleasing God. And it's no more than that. And you know what? If you just please God, you'll please me. You never have to meet me. Nobody has to ever have a conversation with me just to say that you got some kind of a kudos, or you want to say something against this guy right here. Will you go ahead and start spouting your mouth and stuff like that, and you're going to have a fucking problem. You're going to have a problem with your life imploding upon you, and there's just nothing you can do about it. Satan and Eve is in hell, and that's just the way it is. You know, since my last broadcast where I showed these little dolls and stuff over here that has a knife through the chest. That's Susan Donahoe, and that represents Donald J. Trump. You know, I was having a little bit of fun with it, but up here at the other night when I was up here at Beacon Rock, when I went up there and I left town, and I was left town in a fucking fury, just goddamn pissed. I'd locked my keys in my motorhome. I'd done a series of things, you know, and they say it happens in threes. Well, Satan and Eve could easily be making things happen in threes. And also a thing that I want to tell everyone about is that Susan Jane Donahoe stirred this all up by being down here at Steamboat Landing with that 37-foot eyesore of hers. And I walked past that motorhome. I wouldn't say nothing to the bitch. She don't get the time of day for me, and neither does anybody else. Hey, if I don't fucking talk to you, maybe I ain't gonna goddamn talk to you anyway. You say something to me and I'll just say nothing to you. I don't give a fuck. You see? And that's the thing too. I simply don't give a fuck in a lot of actions because of the way that I've been done. And at the same time, here, if I don't love you, you're gonna goddamn get killed. So don't do anything that fucking pisses me off, or Satan and Eve might decide that you're not worthy. You're not worth it. And say you're bothering people with loud exhaust, doing loud exhaust and stuff on purpose and hassling people. Guess what? The Holy Father, Satan and Eve, is going to fucking hassle you, because if I'm getting residual effects, they're going to fucking come after the goddamn problem. And I don't want you to get killed. I want you to understand it's Yahshua inside the cup, Yahshua outside the cup. You've got a cult in the churches. You know, if somebody wants to say, well, I want to talk to this guy, we're not a cult in the churches. Yes, you are a fucking cult in the churches. I goddamn know. I've been inside your fucking churches. And by the way, I know what happened on 7th Street inside that Pentecostal church that's right there. Just because you guys say you're Pentecostal and the Lord was supposed to be Pentecostal, that don't mean that you're not dealing with satanic activities within inside of your buildings. And I'll tell you another thing about this, the church and everything. Your church, you know, goes for the woman. That they followed Satan, they followed Eve, they followed Mother Mary. They didn't follow the Lord Yahshua. They want to say that it's Jesus. And there's a big fucking problem there. Hey, there's no problem for the women, because God knew what these little bitches were going to do before they ever did them, ladies. And these men are a bunch of bitches. They're a bunch of bitter little bitches. Hey, women are in first place. Ladies first. Lady, I'll open the door for you. I know better. I even said that to that good-looking woman that works down at Starbucks. That I had, you know, here, something happened. I said, I can't do this here. I went from there to Safeways, and I seen Rebecca there, and I left $22 on the counter because the same shit was happening with Rebecca. And I turned around, and it happened over there at that storage unit too, that Oak Park storage unit with Howard, you know, and the Patrick, Howard and Patrick. Well, Howard stirred me up over hassling me about gold pay dirt. There was no real gold in it. I lost the generator over a bunch of fucking bullshit from right down there. And then you got Patrick that's fucking stirring the fucking pot. Well, I was pissed off there. I was pissed off at Safeways. I was pissed off at Starbucks. And I told Bree down there that works at Starbucks even, When I'm so fucking pissed off, I could fucking rip the fucking counter off, rip the counter off out of your fucking building without even being in it. And I goddamn mean, and I think I said I could pick up your fucking building and just goddamn smash it to the fucking earth. And that's what will fucking happen if you fuck with me, you fuck with Eve, the Holy Father, and all that. Now you look at the damage at Walmart up there in Lewis County, Washington. I was being fucking harassed and friction. Hey, another thing is the Space Shuttle Columbia that blew up. I was being frictioned by my brother Jerry right there in Elko, Nevada, when Jan was in the hospital and she needed somebody to piss in a cup over her being dirty with cocaine. And they just murdered the Merwins, and they were running around like a chicken with their head cut off, and I didn't know what the fuck was happening completely, but I goddamn do know now. Bruce Casey was given the information about the Merwin case, and then he decided he was going to frame Rick Rife. Well, why would they frame Rick Rife? What's the motive? Well, that bowling alley in Morton, Washington's one of it, and this whole Hezbollah bullshit, and this Anon bullshit, and he's a fucking Republican weirdo. Bruce Kempsey's a gay bastard, as far as I could tell. The way he's dancing and selling the real estate and this and that, he's doing the gay thing, you know. And by the way, you should have never been in that position to be a detective when you was a closet homosexual that had motives to harm other people. As a matter of fact, Jerry Moore, he was on the murder case there. He screwed the whole thing up. He takes off and he goes to Army. He was ROTC. You know, it just doesn't end. Dirty Boy Scouts, this whole Republican Party of rats. And let's see. Well, God told me the other night, you know, I could just take out a skein of eggs and put it out and just stomp on it. I went up and I stomped on it and I turned it into just a green little patch that was on the road the next day when I woke up. And by the way, at midnight when I did this, shortly after, there was a fucking thunderstorm and it started raining right there. It started raining stuff immediately afterwards. And the thunderstorm, and I was talking to the woman down here at Postal Plus that I know, and she told me that was a heck of a storm down here in Camas, Washington. Well, I imagine it would be a hell of a storm down here in Camas, Washington, since it's a vortex that's hitting Camas, Washington. Just like when, you know, this year happened, when the event happened, where I go from Starbucks to the Oak Park mini storage to see Diane and Michael down here at Steamboat Landing. Shit, she started saying they haven't got those bathrooms opened up, like blah 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 blah, you know, like this here, just goddamn getting under my skin. And I said, Diane, you see that cloud over there? I said, you're tempting the Holy Father, look what's happening. That thing blew in. I ended up ripping off the door handle to my motorhome trying to get the door closed. They ran the hell out of there, so she got home. She fell and broke her hip. And the same thing happened to Tina down there at Starbucks. I call her Ugly Tina now because it pretty much suits its appearance then. But I talked to her, and she got her leg broke in the midst of something too. And you know what? Don't fuck with me. You'll get your goddamn leg broke. You'll fucking break your neck falling off a fucking ladder. You know, I seen Jerry Wright take a fucking punch at me with a screwdriver in his hand and it's froze and it's mid-sight. I seen Jim come in and pull up a gun and shoot Terry Shortridge in the head. And he says, I just killed my best friend. Well, I believe that they were going to kill me in the process of the whole thing. And anyway, I'll talk to you later, but everything's okay like this. That you know what, we just need to clean it up, get the riffraff and stuff out of here, and it's Yahshua inside the cup, Yahshua outside the cup. You're going to live a better life than Donald J. Trump and any of his supporters. And I just want to tell you, I love you guys, and no matter how pissed off I am, you gotta understand that there's not too many people that's ever been put in the position that I've been put in to live this day in and day out. You know, I just realized that I would be 64 years old actually on September the 2nd. I don't really do holidays and stuff like that. I don't celebrate my birthday. My family, they've never had the luxury of ever having a birthday party for me and with me because I've never sat down with them on my birthday. My sister Bonnie got me a card before, but you know what? I saved that card forever, and after it was all over, she hid behind me. And it's a very terrible thing that they've done, and I have the luxury of being the Holy Father's son now and pay back some motherfucker. My name's John T. Wright. I'm going to stand up every day for what the Holy Father intends for me to do. And there won't be no, you get a goddamn fucking appointment, you think you get cuts to the top of the fucking mountain. Space Mountain's looking right here, and shit fucking goes downhill from here, from this second on, and you better fucking remember that. Don't piss off the Holy Father, because if you pissed off the Holy Father, apparently you pissed me off, and if you pissed me off, I guarantee you, you pissed off the Holy Father, Satan, and Eve, and I can't control 3 out of 4 of us. Talk to you later, bye.